Welcome to Monza, where the crowd are ready for today's action. And we hope you're ready to see the world's best drivers fighting it out for that #1 spot. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 miles per hour and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, George Russell and Vettel. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Tsunoda, they've taken a grid penalty. Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Giovinazzi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright folks, here we are, the Italian Grand Prix. 5 lights coming on. Verstappen and Hamilton on the front row. It's lights out and away we go! Verstappen off to a good start. Hamilton gets a great start. Look at the middle though. It looks like one of the AlphaTauris has a great start. Here comes Lewis Hamilton around the outside of Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez trying to get 3 wide going into turn 1. Hamilton and Verstappen are side by side going to the first corner. Hamilton's in contact! Oh, and Verstappen's off into the gravel. Oh, but he kept it clean. He's going to keep on going. That is huge. There's yellow flags for Max Verstappen. Hamilton leads. Perez is second. Bottas third. Looks like one of the Ferraris is fourth. Lando Norris is fifth. I don't know which Ferrari that is, but Hamilton leads from Perez, from Bottas. That was huge between Hamilton and Verstappen. So Hamilton leads going through Lesmo 1 into Lesmo 2. There's Carlos Sainz right in front of Lando Norris in the McLaren. Heading down now towards Ascari. Lando Norris trying to catch up. He's got good pace though against the Ferrari. He's going to go down the inside. Oh, the Ferrari into Ascari. No, he doesn't try it. He's going to stay behind. But I think that was actually Charles Leclerc in front. Hamilton leads coming up to Parabolica. As the first lap will be completed, Max Verstappen down in last by a long shot. He's got front wing damage too, so he's going to have to pit. So Hamilton takes the lead in the first lap. Verstappen's going to have to come to pit lane. There's a lot of cars actually backed up there. That might be a second pit stop. Here comes Verstappen though, down in the pit lane. No, it was Alonso down in the pit lane. Verstappen took no damage, but he overtakes 4 cars on the straight. How about a 5th one around the outside of the Williams with Nicholas Latifi? Oh, can he stick it though? Yes, he can. Down the inside, he passes Nicholas Latifi. 5 cars in one straight. Alonso got a 5-second time penalty as well. I don't exactly know why, but he comes out with a 10-second pit stop almost. So Hamilton leads from Perez, from Bottas, from Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris on the back of Leclerc. Perez trying to take home his 5th win of the season, I believe so. Norris on the back of Leclerc. Looks like Carlos Sainz is behind in the other Ferrari. The McLaren and Ferrari fight has been going on since the first race. I don't know where Daniel Ricciardo is, but right now is heating up here in the first laps. You got the AlphaTauri Pierre Gasly behind Carlos Sainz. As Lando Norris, can they try it? Down the inside, maybe a parabolic? No, he won't. He will just stay behind. But meanwhile, though, there's a fight in the back, though. And the cameraman does not know how to do anything. So here we are, folks. There's the leaderboard. Kimi Räikkönen passes Nikita Mazepin around the outside. DRS activated this lap. Around the outside goes Antonio Giovinazzi or Kimi Räikkönen around Nikita Mazepin. Great move there. Meanwhile, though, Lando Norris down the inside of... Oh, Perez, too! Bottas trying to go around the outside. Sergio Perez does not make the move happen, but Lando Norris gets ahead of Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz keeps the position ahead of Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, though, it looks like Antonio Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi are going to go side by side through this second turn. I'm at the very long right-hander. I forget what it's called, but there's two battles back here. They are both side by side. Latifi down the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi into the second chicane. Giovinazzi, can he give him the position? Yes, he can. Giovinazzi gets ahead of Nicholas Latifi for 15th. And I believe Kimi Räikkönen holds on to 17th from Nikita Mazepin. Meanwhile, though, Valtteri Bottas on the back of Sergio Perez again, trying to find a spot to pass. It won't make it happen. Through Scotty chicane, Lando Norris keeps his lead against Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen's already gained up positions. Now he's on the back of Yuki Tsunoda. The birds are going crazy. Here comes Valtteri Bottas once again with DRS. He's got much closer to him, and now he's got DRS. Around the outside goes Valtteri Bottas, and he'll claim P2Ds unless Sergio Perez wants to counter back on him. No, he doesn't. Meanwhile, though, Gasly down the inside of Carlos Sainz, and he gains the position. Verstappen passes Yuki Tsunoda down the inside, and he claims another spot for 13th. Giovinazzi defends his position against Latifi. Räikkönen and Schumacher goes down around the inside of Nikita Mazepin, and he claims the spot from his teammate. Bottas ahead of Perez. Lando Norris ahead of Charles Leclerc. There's yellow flags in the back, though. There is yellow flags. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Tsunoda! Tsunoda has blown his engine. He is out of the Italian Grand Prix. Oh dear, that is awful for him. Only 4 laps in, and we already have a first yellow flag. Our first DNF of the race. Lando Norris keeps his lead against Charles Leclerc. Gasly is still ahead of Carlos Sainz. Lance Stroll keeping up a train here between Ricciardo, Ocon, Vettel, Russell. Verstappen is on the back of George Russell, and he looks to try to claim a place for George Russell. Where's he going to go? He's going to use the outside lane of Parabolica. Can Verstappen pass? Oh, with ease against George Russell. And he gains another spot. He's up to 12th now, after falling to the back at the beginning of the race after contact with Lewis Hamilton. There are still yellow flags in that same sector we had, as Valtteri Bottas defends his position again against Sergio Perez. Oh, down the inside goes around the outside goes Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. And it looks like Gasly and Sainz are going to go wheel to wheel once again through the right-hander. Sainz around the outside, Gasly down the inside. Heading up into the chicane, there's still wheel to wheel action down the inside. We'll go Carlos Sainz. Can Gasly hold on to position? Yes, he can through the second chicane. Ferrari trying to win in their home, trying to get a good position in their home race. I forgot Gasly is also in his home race, as AlphaTauri is not too far from the road.
Charles, can you push more than this? Question?
I can't, but it's not good for the tyres, so no.
So it looks like Charles Leclerc was asked to push forward, so he does not push forward, as he'll stay behind Lando Norris, not trying to risk any tire wear on his. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. He's trying to not risk his tires getting any wear and making him lose all that grip. Gasly did not score the first 6 races, but he has scored the last 5 races with a best finish of 5th. He's currently 6th right now behind Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. And Max Verstappen behind, though. He's going to go get Sebastian Vettel, and he gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Meanwhile, though, Sainz again around the outside. Daniel Ricciardo trying to pass Lance Stroll. Gasly defends the outside lane, but Carlos Sainz squeezes ahead. But he's still not enough. He's still side by side with Pierre Gasly. Gasly stays ahead. What an amazing battle between Sainz and Gasly. Ricciardo trying to pass Lance Stroll for P8. Trying to put that McLaren up in the points. Well, trying to gain more points than the McLaren. But meanwhile, though, Max Verstappen finally back in the points in 10th place. He is storming through the field right now. And look at the gap, though, between Gasly and Sainz. Or Gasly and Leclerc, already 5 seconds on board with Carlos Sainz and the Ferrari. And as we head through a Ascari chicane, Verstappen passes Daniel Ricciardo. Another position gain, he passed him through the rundown to Ascari. Verstappen has been on fire now with these overtakes. And he's looking to take another one, but he tries to force Lance Stroll into a mistake. Doesn't, though. But here comes Sergio Perez around the outside of Valtteri Bottas, and he gets ahead. No, Bottas trying to squeeze it down the inside, trying to pass Sergio Perez. Perez trying to defend really well. Here comes Bottas back around the outside, and he stays ahead of the Mexican driver. Meanwhile, though, Sainz down the inside again of Pierre Gasly. Can he try to get ahead? Max Verstappen does pass Lance Stroll. Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly wheel-to-wheel action through the second turn again. As Latifi and Giovinazzi are going to go at it once again. Here comes Carlos Sainz down the inside of Pierre Gasly. No, Gasly will stay ahead again of the Ferrari driver. Max Verstappen, though, behind, looking to take advantage of this entire battle here between Sainz and Gasly. He's right on the tail of Carlos Sainz. He may have DRS. Well, he's going to have DRS. He's really close to Carlos Sainz. Here he comes with DRS against Carlos Sainz. On the run down to Ascari. Where's he going to go? He's going to try around the outside of the Ascari chicane. He does it! And Sainz loses another spot to Max Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen runs very wide. As it seemed like he got on the inside curve and kind of clipped it. And here comes Max Verstappen. He's going to have a run down against his former teammate, Pierre Gasly. And here comes Perez once again around the outside of... Oh, he gets it clean, though. Bottas trying to defend. Perez trying to take P3. He just can't. He doesn't have that straight line speed that the Mercedes has. So Perez stays P3. Bottas is going to stay P2. Meanwhile, though, Max Verstappen does get by Pierre Gasly. We forgot to show that on the camera, but he does get by through the first chicane. But Perez and them, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen are fighting all the way at the bottom there. And yeah, they are definitely fighting. Raikkonen gets ahead of Giovinazzi, but no, Giovinazzi trying to stay ahead of Raikkonen. As here comes Sergio Perez with DRS down the run down to Ascari. But he won't be close enough. Meanwhile, though, Max Verstappen does get by. Like I said. Oh, clips the grass a little bit, but he's fine. And so there's a Ascari chicane. This track is notorious since been on the calendar since 1950. And just had some amazing races ever since. The infamous 2020 race or the 2021 race, where Pierre Gasly took home the win in 2020 and Daniel Ricciardo in the 2021 race. IRL race, that is. As Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez go wheel-to-wheel. Looks like this time Perez gets ahead of Bottas and will stay ahead of him. So Perez takes P2 away from Valtteri Bottas. And it looks like there's a train going behind Gasly, between Sainz, Stroll, Ricciardo, and Ocon. Vettel involved too, Russell too. Raikkonen and Giovinazzi going to go wheel-to-wheel once again down the main straight. So here we are on lap number 9. Perez ahead of Bottas. So now it's Hamilton first, Perez second, Bottas third. Bottas is third, Norris is fourth, Leclerc fifth, Verstappen sixth, Gasly seventh. Verstappen 6 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, but he's going to be trying to gain as much as he can now. Lewis Hamilton with a dominating lead now here on lap 9. It's into the parabolic corner. Not really much action going on right now as Lewis Hamilton will lead lap 9 into lap 10 now. Paris is behind, but Valtteri Bottas and Lando Norris both pit early here on lap number 9 or lap 10 now. Bottas with a 2.7 on the pit stop, Norris with a 2.5. So now it matters now. Now the pit stops start coming out. It's who's going to jump early. It looks like Bottas jumped early. I believe that was strategic by Mercedes to get Hamilton in early. Max Verstappen will jump back up to 4th place and has cut the gap now between him and Leclerc by 8 tenths. Lando has dropped back to 13th. Valtteri Bottas back to 12th. So there was open room between Bottas and between Russell and Giovinazzi. That's probably why they took it. They took the gap advantage they had. See, there's Max Verstappen trying to gain on Charles Leclerc. There's a side-by-side battle between Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, and Giovinazzi will stay ahead of Kimi Raikkonen instead of going into Lesmo 1. Kimi Raikkonen down the inside of Lesmo 1 of his own teammate. They're side-by-side. Kimi Raikkonen gets ahead. What a move by the Finnish driver. My goodness, what a move. But here goes Giovinazzi back with DRS. But I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Yes, he is, though. And he does get ahead of his teammate. Cameraman forgot to show up, but he does get ahead. Charles Leclerc in the pit lane now. As the pit window has opened here on lap 10. We have another early taker now. And a 2.6 for Charles Leclerc. So now Max Verstappen is now 8 seconds behind his teammate. Nicholas Latifi is also in the pit lane as he comes in from 16th place. And he will claim. He'll jump back to 18th place ahead of Fernando Alonso. Oh no, he'll be behind Fernando Alonso. Sebastian Vettel behind Esteban Ocon, who's behind Ricciardo and Stroll. Meanwhile, though, Max Verstappen still trying to gain on Sergio Perez, his teammate. Probably trying to make that pit stop strategy work. But he hasn't had a pit stop yet, so just remember that he hasn't had a pit stop, and he's been dealing with a lot of troubles in his car this entire time. As into the pit lane comes Lewis Hamilton's in the pit lane. Paris as well. Gasly's coming in. Carlos Sainz is in. Stroll's in. Ricciardo's in. Ocon's in. Russell's coming in. So Hamilton's out. Paris is out already. Max Verstappen takes the lead ahead of Sebastian Vettel. 2.4 for Russell. Raikkonen is also in. So it looks like Max Verstappen was supposed to come in a lap earlier, but he decides to overcut the strategy. Probably give him fresher tires to work with here. As Kimi Raikkonen was the last to take his pit stop. Sebastian Vettel is in second ahead of Lewis Hamilton right now. And Max Verstappen trying all they can to stay ahead of these drivers. Schumacher's at the 9th. And Giovinazzi's up to 8th. So a little bit of a strategy going here. Nikita Mazepin a full, almost a second behind Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen less than a second now against Nicholas Latifi. He might pass him easily, but Latifi does overcut. Does overcome him. Here comes Max Verstappen into the pit lane. Sebastian Vettel most likely going to be joining him, as well as Antonio Giovinazzi and Schumacher. But looks like Verstappen will get his pit stop, and it looks like a front wing change. Oh dear! A front wing change for Max Verstappen. They were not expecting it, but it looks like he had damage. That's why he wasn't going so quick. Hamilton retakes the lead. Perez is still in second place. Bottas is in third. Norris is in fourth. Charles Leclerc fifth. Verstappen falls to sixth. But he does stay ahead of Pierre Gasly, though. No, he doesn't. Gasly jumps him. Max is behind Pierre Gasly. He is hungry to take a podium or maybe win. Just gain points, maybe, on Lewis Hamilton. Point situation is very unique right now. We've had some interesting races so far. But it hasn't been that much of an occurrence to these drivers. So here comes Max Verstappen down to the run down to his stall. He's going to try down the outside. No, he's going to switch to the outside lane, but he gets by his former teammate Pierre Gasly. As we're looking at the onboard camera here at the start, why Max Verstappen fell back to the position he is right now. See here, Hamilton has the outside lane, but then he just dive bombs him for no reason, knocks him off the track and gets him damage. But Max will stay ahead of Gasly, even though Gasly will have DRS. Hamilton leads, Perez second, Bottas third, Norris is fourth, Leclerc's fifth, Verstappen sixth, Dan Ricciardo jumps Carlos Sainz. Gets ahead of him. Ocon jumps Stroll, Latifi gets by Giovinazzi. So Ricciardo's up to 8th, now chasing Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen on the run down to get Charles Leclerc. He's 6.5 behind. I don't think a win is going to happen for Max Verstappen. There's not that much time remaining. There's not much laps remaining in the race, as Verstappen is still 5 seconds behind. Probably pushing that car to its limits. Here we are in lap 14, heading into 15 now. Verstappen's still in 6th place. No real battles going on, as there's a train going. Lance Stroll is going to try against Esteban Ocon, and he will get by Esteban Ocon. Oh no, Ocon's going to defend around the outside. Can he defend perfectly against the Aston Martin? They're wheel to wheel. Through the right-hander. Can Esteban Ocon hold on to 10th? This is for a point here. And no. Lance Stroll overtakes Ocon perfectly. So we only have one DNF in this race. Valtteri Bottas trying to chase down Sergio Perez. Verstappen now is catching up to Charles Leclerc. Now the gap is less than 4 seconds. As Ocon tried to go back on Lance Stroll. See, Verstappen is now 3.4 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. My bird's freaked out there, I don't know why. Verstappen now less than 3 seconds now as Esteban Ocon does get it back ahead against Lance Stroll. So he takes the point back. Lewis Hamilton keeping a 4-second gap between him and Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen is now less than 3 seconds. as Valtteri Bottas is now 1.3 seconds behind Sergio Perez. There's not going to be a real battle there. Lando Norris 4 seconds back. Lando Norris having a really decent race this time. As AlphaTauri looks like they're taking the biggest hit when it comes to the constructors race. But Fernando Alonso is in last of the running drivers, but he's catching up though to Nikita Mazepin in the Haas, as Lewis Hamilton is behind. Max is now almost less than 2 seconds behind. You can actually see him now in frame there, catching up to Charles Leclerc, as Leclerc trying to catch up to Lando Norris. As we have 11 laps remaining, Hamilton leads by 3.9 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez. Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon going at it again, but Ocon will keep 10th place. Those two teams fighting for the 1 point they need for this championship battle. I'm gonna actually look up here. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll going to go at it. Max Verstappen now less than a second. He will have DRS against Charles Leclerc as my cat. Okay, hello. Go. Okay. Sorry about that. Max Verstappen catching Charles Leclerc. Verstappen didn't really have a chance to win this race as he was pushed off the track by Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton did not receive a penalty, saying it was a race incident. As Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll go wheel to wheel, and Vettel gets ahead of Lance Stroll. So the Aston Martin driver will stay ahead. Verstappen trying to pass Charles Leclerc, and he does. Max takes 5th from Charles Leclerc. Next up for him is Lando Norris, who's had a really decent race so far. But with coming up to 9 laps to go, I don't think a win will be in his eyes. Hamilton has increased the lead to now 4 seconds. As Daniel Ricciardo on the back of Pierre Gasly, he's going to have DRS going down the main straight. Daniel Ricciardo here to take P7 away from Pierre Gasly, and he does. Around the outside goes Daniel Ricciardo, the McLaren, and he stays ahead of Pierre Gasly heading into turn 1. Good move by the Australian as Sebastian Vettel passes Esteban Ocon. So probably a smart move there by Aston Martin to let Sebastian Vettel by. But Ocon keeps P10. Then Ricciardo will take up 7th place. That might be his finishing position as he is pretty down the list. Max Verstappen trying to catch up to Lando Norris. Norris with P4. Best he's ever gotten was I think 2, maybe P3. not a bad race for Lando Norris, as it's been pretty successful for him so far. As Sebastian Vettel's on the back of Esteban Ocon as well as Lance Stroll. Let's see what happens down the main straight. Sebastian Vettel really close to Esteban Ocon. And he gets DRS. He's going to go down the inside of Esteban Ocon. Here comes his teammate though, Lance Stroll, but he won't make a move. Sebastian Vettel takes P10 away from Esteban Ocon. And the Aston Martin. You really had to do that, didn't you? You stupid cat. I don't like you. Sorry. Okay, now you won't have to know. Oh, you're a piece of crap, you cat. Sorry. Max Verstappen 1.4 seconds behind Lando Norris. Trying to gain to get on that DRS. So here comes Max Verstappen 1.22 back. Here Gasly on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. He's 5/10 back, gaining on Verstappen. He's going to have DRS down the main straight, but is he close enough to get Ricciardo? Here he comes. He's going to pick the outside lane against Daniel Ricciardo. Around the outside goes Pierre Gasly. Ricciardo defends down the inside. Going into turn 2, Ricciardo stays ahead of Pierre Gasly. Great move, Ocon and Sebastian Vettel, wheel to wheel. And Sebastian Vettel stays ahead of Esteban Ocon. Max Verstappen now less than a second behind Lando Norris. Looks like Norris made a little bit of a mistake now. Made a little bit of a mistake, but no DRS for Verstappen, but he will have DRS down the main straight. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly has DRS against Ricciardo again. On the run down to Ascari. But no move will be made. As lap 22 begins, we're down to the last 6 laps now of this race. Max Verstappen at the back of Lando Norris. He's going to have DRS. Will he try it on Lando Norris? Will he make the risky dive bomb? So far back, no he doesn't. He's going to stay behind Lando Norris. As Pierre Gasly and Ricciardo are going to go wheel to wheel once again. Can Ricciardo defend once again? They're going to be side by side. Coming out of the corner, no! Pierre Gasly gets ahead. Gasly stays ahead. Here comes Fernando Alonso to take P15 away from Kimi Räikkönen. The two oldest world champions in here. As Fernando Alonso easily gets by Kimi Räikkönen in the Alpine. As Lewis Hamilton comes around to take lap 23, coming up to 5 laps to go. Max Verstappen still trying to chase down Lando Norris. There's Valtteri Bottas in P3. As Max Verstappen goes down the inside of Lando Norris, stays behind him though through Parabolic, and now goes down the inside of Lando Norris. He's going to be wheel to wheel with him going into the next lap. But Max Verstappen is ahead, and will probably get ahead of him as he will to overtake him. It's a good move by Max Verstappen. He takes P4. Now he's 4 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas with 5 laps to go. There's a chance that Verstappen could beat on Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly going wheel to wheel once again. Ricciardo down the inside of Pierre Gasly. It's on the backfield. You cannot see it, but Ricciardo does get ahead of Pierre Gasly. Ocon and Vettel going to go wheel to wheel. Looks like Ocon passed Vettel easily. So now Verstappen's going to go as quick as he can if he wants to take a podium and help himself in the championship here with 5 laps to go. He needs to stay ahead of Hamilton. That's what he needs to do. Latifi passes Schumacher perfectly. Verstappen just cut the lead down. Cut that gap down to less than 3 seconds now. Hamilton keeping his lead by 4.4 seconds. With now 4 laps to go. Now Verstappen only 2.5 behind. He has really gained on Valtteri Bottas. 2.2 now. 2.1. He is definitely gaining on Valtteri Bottas. Fernando Alonso with a decent recovery, but he will not score points today. Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel, but now Vettel go wheel to wheel with Esteban Ocon, but Ocon will stay ahead through this lap. Ocon trying to take 1 point for the Alpine team. Max Verstappen now less than 2 seconds behind. With 3 laps, coming up to 3 laps to go. He is trying to catch Bottas as fast as he can. Oh, a little bit of a mistake by Verstappen there. Get on the curb a little bit. But coming up now, looks like Latifi passes Schumacher, but Schumacher takes it back. So remember, we only have 1 DNF so far in this race. But I highly doubt there's going to be a second one. As here we are on lap number 25 now. Verstappen almost less than a second now. He's 1.3 behind Bottas. Heading into the chicane. There's Gasly and Ricciardo fight. Gasly takes the hit of Ricciardo. Alright. So Verstappen now 1.6 behind, 1.5. He's trying to catch up. Lewis Hamilton 4.7 ahead. And Bottas trying to go as quick as he can to stay ahead of Max Verstappen. 1.4 seconds is the gap between them. Verstappen get the better launch out of the corner. Then Valtteri Bottas, he'll gain time on him. Down the run down to Ascari. Max though, oh Jesus, that was a corner cut and a half. He runs very wide. Definitely get a warning for that one. And he definitely did. He got a black and white flag for that one. For exceeding track limits. As Verstappen just less than a second now behind Valtteri Bottas, with 2 laps remaining. Into the chicane now, Verstappen trying to catch Valtteri Bottas. Then Ricciardo goes around the outside and he passes Pierre Gasly. He takes back P7. Meanwhile, with Ocon and Vettel. Ocon's going to have DRS as well as Lance Stroll, but Ocon trying to get by Sebastian Vettel. Where's he going to go? He can't go anywhere. Doesn't want to risk a dive bomb, so he's going to stay behind. Meanwhile, Verstappen's going to have DRS, heading down the straight towards Ascari. So he'll have DRS. He's not close enough to make a pass. He's still 6 tenths behind. All Verstappen's got to do here is just keep that car in a straight line, get some nice speed out of the parabolic chicane, parabolic corner. He gets a good run though out of the Ascari chicane. And into Parabolica, he's got to get a good run though against Valtteri Bottas. So here comes Max Verstappen. He's gonna have DRS down the main straight. 5 tenths behind. Lewis Hamilton leads. Here comes Max Verstappen. with DRS against Valtteri Bottas. He's looking to the inside. He switches to the outside. He gets ahead of Valtteri Bottas. What a move by Max Verstappen as he takes P3 away from Valtteri Bottas. Bottas, though, he's going to fight back around in the inside. And he does. He takes the spot back. Verstappen almost forces him off the track. Here comes Max Verstappen with a switchback to the inside. Goes Max Verstappen, and he gets ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Good switchback by Max Verstappen, trying to hold on to that position. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton, this is the last lap. Lewis Hamilton leads. Bottas behind Max Verstappen. He's having DRS. He's using all the overtaking he can. Around the outside goes Valtteri Bottas. He will stay ahead. Max Verstappen, though, trying to make it one more time through the Ascari chicane. Verstappen trying to get running on Valtteri Bottas. Meanwhile, down the main straight, Lewis Hamilton coming around Parabolica for the last time. Lewis Hamilton wins the Italian Grand Prix. Sergio Perez to take second place. Meanwhile, though, Max Verstappen on the back of Valtteri Bottas down the inside, coming out of Parabolica. Max Verstappen trying to make a move. He tries to force Verstappen. Bottas what?
Get in there, Lewis. Awesome drive there, mate. Awesome drive, absolutely stellar.
So Lewis Hamilton wins. Perez second. Valtteri Bottas third. What a race from Italy.
Excellent Grand Prix. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
But they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.